Podigious!
刺激で満ちてだけど頼りない翼でもきっと飛べるさ Oh my love
Welcome to Podigious, episode 015.
Try Chapter 4, Loss, PV1 Reactions.
Recorded December 14th, 2016. Late at night, barely, with 20 minutes left. Podigious is your critically nostalgic, analytical tour through the Digimon anime. I'm Jeff Ruberg, and I'm just joined by fellow Diginome Ashley McDonald.
I might kill Jeff Ruberg.
Because it is late, and not because she's a murderer. So it's just the two of us now. We're going to do a quick reaction to the new PV for Try Chapter 4 that came out today. We have not seen the PV yet. We are about to watch it. Yeah, that's basically the agenda. To watch it and then go through our reactions and also some reactions we got from listeners on social media and stuff, which I tried as much as possible to not read before, since we have not been spoiled. I have read some of those, so anyway, we are going to break in a minute to watch the video and then we'll come back and express our raw reaction. This is the movie that's going to, according to the poster, focus on Sora and who else is in the poster?
Let's be real, it's
Machine
going
Digimon.
to focus on Yamato and
Oh,
Taichi.
yeah. Right. Sora, Yamato, Taichi. I expect in this PV we'll see something about that love triangle. Probably some like sad scene between Biyomon and Sora. And aside from that, I don't really know what to expect from this. So now we're going to watch it. Okay, that was kind of unsurprisingly, that was a lot of fluff of like, okay, yeah, this is what we expect, and a lot of like, huh?
I want to see more Crazy Jedi. Please give me more of that.
Crazy Jedi. Okay, so now we're going to read the translation of all the voices. This is thanks to Tumblr user Fizzing Wizard, and we'll have a link to this translation in the show notes. Okay, and now we're back from having read the translation. So I guess
Translation is far less interesting than just the visuals.
Right, and it's lots of things out of context. But one of the things I thought was really interesting was the first line, which just translated as like a touching reunion. Touching reunion. But the explicit words use the like Kando no Saikai. Saikai is the title of chapter 1 with reunion. So, I mean, it's just an homage. It's not meaningful. It's not like there's a parallel between Genai and Hinakawa meeting. Well, maybe there is. Who knows? It's hard to remember the different. I mean, we see the heads talking for a while. They're like,
whatever. The only thing that I'm like, oh my god, Crazy Genai, please tell me more.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see Crazy Genai. I guess if I'm being pessimistic, it could just be a scene at the end of the movie. Just like my excitement for
who is he
for Emperor
at? Joe?
No, it was Takeru, sorry.
It was Takeru. That's...
Yeah, so I mean...
Takeru's the best, so...
I think everyone's really excited because there's Metal Seedramon primarily featured.
Yes, also Metal Seedramon.
You're excited because of the dub voice of Metal Seedramon, though, actually.
I know, that's true. He's not a weird, sexy beast monster in the original. I
don't know what his voice is like in Japanese.
Just gotta wait for a dub in like 2 years from now.
So there's Crazy Genai, and I think we saw like War Grandma and Metal Gurumon fighting Metal Seedramon, right? Which is otherwise wouldn't be that notable, except like I guess they're all gonna get to the stages. That implies like, are they really gonna have the memory loss last for that long? Are they gonna somehow get to mega level with the memory having been lost? There's a bunch of scenes that looked like they were indoors. I think the primary ones...
a ship.
Right, there's primary ones that look like it's a ship, which I've seen a couple of people speculate. It's like one of the few things I saw before watching the PV that if we're talking about ships in Digimon, and this is not relationships, but boats,
Isn't it always relationships?
It looks vaguely like a Kakachumon ship, or at least that's the boat that people were reminded of.
It looks like a generic boat.
Which, was that even an episode about Sora? Not really. The girls got naked and had like a...
Was it an episode about Mimi?
Was it about Mimi? I feel like it wasn't really about anyone. I mean, it ended with Mimi getting her crest in the giant cactus, but I don't think it was really about anyone. That was one of those weird Edamon episodes. I was like, eh. But I mean, the thing is, like, the stuff that we see around the boat, like, it looks like there's, like, cliffs and or icebergs. I don't know. I'm a little skeptical. I think it might be more like a boat they take that is somehow involved in, like, Metal Sugermon's territory or something. Because I think it's the same context we see in the shot of Takaru and Crazy Genai. I think it's the same cliffs behind him, which definitely look like ice or something shiny or something. Yeah. And there's like Mako and stuff in this trailer, which I'm like, okay, how is Mako or Mekumon? I mean, Mekumon can obviously fit in because Mekumon we saw in the digital world, but how is Mako going to fit in given that she was not coming along with them? Oh, but there she is on the boat with them, so that's a thing. We'll see how that plays out. I guess we'll probably, because they show them, they reunite near the trolley, so we'll probably get some scenes of them like in the trolley and stuff, which is the original promise of the posters that showed them. Oh, but now it's sad because now they reunited at the trolley, but they don't have the memories.
Everything's sad. It's just all sad. It's called love.
So yeah. Oh, that is another thing I had spoiled to me was I saw someone say it looks like Seraphimon, which, you know, it kind of does. Seraphimon is Patamon's ultimate, or mega form.
Oh, right.
You should get used to seeing because he's going to be in Frontier.
It's like, I know Seraphimon.
See, it totally looks like his head there.
No, when you were doing it in scroll mode, there was definitely a shot where I was like, that's totally his head.
Which, like, that is super exciting. Everything that I, like, see in these PVs, it makes me super excited. I have to be like, okay, it could just be, like, dropped here because it's going to, in the movie itself, be a tease for future stuff. So, try not to get too excited about that. But I think there are plenty of things to be excited
I think that's about. What's mean about these PVs is that then they take the parts that are then really just hype for the next movie, and you're like, that's
and put it in the PV,
yeah. What the hell are you doing? That's not proper.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's proper, but it's definitely not good strategy because then people like me, and I assume other people have this same reaction, which is they get so hyped for it to be in the movie and they're like, oh, well, this is supposed to be hyped for the next movie, and they just come out disappointed, and then you're like, this movie wasn't very good. And yeah, anyway, I don't think as much as, like, I think
want anything dealing with Takaru's.
Yeah, I mean, if there's Seraphimon and Takaru is probably going to be involved, I feel like sometimes the PVs in the past
surprise Takaru movie.
No, the PVs in the past have been like, oh my god, I have no idea how they're going to connect these dots. Like, these dots come out of the blue, like when we saw Ken and stuff for the second movie. I wonder if it was Ty or whatever. But anyway, Colin and Ashley, we didn't actually wonder that. But
oh, did we not though?
But this one, it's like, okay, there are a lot of elements that I'm like, it's not too hard to connect any of these dots to see how these elements are going to be. But it's like, I'm curious to see how everything plays out, how everything's going to be connected, and how it's not anymore like, oh my god, how are they going to connect these two dots? It's like, okay, how many dots are going to be in play, and how are they
Where are the 02 kids?
Genai is a combination of all 02
Genai!
Genai, Ashley, please.
He's whatever I want him to be.
They retconned that in the dub canon. Now he's Genai in the dub canon too, according to the movie. First movie. Okay, so now we're going to read. Andrew sent us an email that he said to only open after watching PV.
I was wondering how it didn't preview anything, because he apparently put a jillion dashes.
Yeah, that's clever. So Andrew told us, I think the cruise ship from the Kakatoriman episode returns, yeah? Okay. There's several shots of them on something resembling it, but you can only see the wooden floor and railing. This might be relevant to them fighting Metal Sugermon, which may simultaneously be taking place near the frozen area of File Island. Frozen area of File Island. Oh, like where Ty and Matt have their little bro rolling in the...
Yeah, with Frigimon.
Frigimon, yeah. Huh. Interesting. That would be weird to, like, mix in the Dark Masters with the File Island locations.
You know what? Evil Genai is just Digimon.
Could be. I think Andrew's other reaction, like his 3-word review when we actually just watched it, was wait, what, how? No. It was 3 words, obviously.
It was something like that.
It was below this. I can't find it. It was, hey, wait, what? So I think that's similar to how a lot of people have been reacting. Thankfully, no Rio in this
Oh my god.
If there are people who review.
I actually want Rio to just show up and I'd be like, you know what, I accept that more than him. Instead of the 02 kids, just Rio comes.
I'm curious if Ash would go see it. Would no longer see it if Rio appeared. Okay, so now we're going to look at our 3-word reviews that we ask people to send us on social media. First off, on Twitter, May Fisher Guest, who is also host of Lost in Translation, another Digimon podcast. They said, hype is real. A.R. Pulver, who is the writer behind System Restore, a blog that reviews Digimon episodes, and I think recently has been, I don't know, he's doing Appmon reviews, not on there, but on his Tumblr. Anyway, he said, no poster Digimon. Yeah, there was no, we didn't see Machinedramon, we didn't see Homon.
We didn't see Tapirmon.
Yeah, that's kind of fascinating. We've been teased a bunch of stuff in here that is totally different than stuff we've already been teased.
See, I don't believe anything.
I'm a little bit worried that we know too many actors involved now. That we're just gonna be okay. We know
a lot of things.
But we know all the chess pieces on the board, and then in practice we're just gonna be like, okay, yeah, I guess once I see them start to do stuff, I guess there's only a couple things how they could actually be interacting. I don't know. It's kind of hard to articulate what I mean.
Really?
But I feel like once we start to see, we know there are 10 chess pieces on board, and then once we start to watch the movie and we see okay, these scenes are introduced, this character is introduced in this context, then it'll be like, okay, there's only a couple natural places where that can go. Or I'm not really articulating my thoughts well. It's
yeah, you know why? It's 11:53 at night.
It's also because I don't articulate thoughts well in general. Moving on. So Adventure Heart 5 on Twitter said, Dark Masters, baby.
Okay, listen. There are a million pieces in play, and none of them are 02 kids.
It's true. Amber Moto said, so many questions. Fabrizio Azaguirre, sorry for mispronouncing that probably, aka Not So Heartless, said 1 ultimate left, and also 2 Mega Evos. So,
that's 6 words.
Yeah, because we got a Homon in the poster, and Seraphimon teased, and yeah, Seraphimon.
You know what? New ship, Takaru and Sora.
Yeah, that's a thing. Okay.
That'd be hilarious.
So moving on to Facebook, Johnny Cruz said, needing with subtitles. Kai Oliver said, I saw Seraphimon. Justice Lawson said, Olms? I feel like I've seen that word before, and I never actually understood what it meant.
There are a lot of things on the internet I don't understand.
We are looking it up now. I searched on Wikipedia instead of Wiktionary. Wiktionary is not a good idea because that does not include slang.
It definitely was Order of New Zealand. I don't know what you're talking about.
So if I look on Wiktionary, it tells me that it is 11 in Haitian Creole.
Oh, snaps.
Really? I want Urban Dictionary. There we go.
Oh, yeah. I always want Urban Dictionary.
Synced to represent a positive and definitive acknowledgement of a task, appreciation, or an appointment.
What?
So what? It's like, oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think. Anyway, that's supposed to be a 3-letter review. It's a 3-word review. Quad Vesper said, oh my god, so many.
That's fine.
I'm not sure what so many what.
I mean, I guess that's technically...
So many...
it's 3 words, but spread out to be 5.
Daniel Peng said, can't wait anymore. Well, unfortunately, we have to wait some more.
Does it come
February?
out?
I think. And then moving on to Tumblr, Crazy Lyricist said, very unexpected stuff. And Max Velocity IV said, Crazy Face Jedi.
Yes. Yeah, Crazy Face Jedi is really the only thing that I'm like, oh, snaps, what's that? Please tell me more.
Yeah, I mean, I think it also is showing some kind of hand for the first time because it's like, I was kind of holding on hope that Jedi was not actually nefarious in any way. And
oh, man, you can't make him make that face.
Right, it definitely is leaning towards that now. I'm just... seeing if it's feasible for me to go through, see if people... so no one mentioned in text when reblogging us, but they may have tagged it with something. And yeah, it's too hard to on the Tumblr website to see. So sorry if you did a 3-word review in a tag on Tumblr. I'm not going to see it. So that's it for our 3-word reviews.
Tumblr proficient.
And that's it for our reading reactions to the audience. I guess closing thoughts, actually, what are you most excited for about chapter 4 now?
Crazy Jedi.
Crazy Jedi.
Takaru surprise hijacking Sora's movie.
There are so many things that are surprise hijacking this movie now. I don't know what's going to be the focus or anything. There was I expected or hoped, discussion between Sora and Biyomon. That's a thing.
I mean, there were things, sure, that were, like, expected. Like, Taichi has his weird rant about the good and bad qualities about Sora, apparently.
That is interesting, because, like... So, I mean, we're going to read the translation again from Fizzing Wizard here. So, Taichi apparently is saying, "Geez, I've never been able to understand Sora's feelings. She meddles in other people's affairs, but makes her own decisions about her own problems and won't tell anyone else." I mean, really, that's probably one of her good points. So that's a little flaky. Flaky? It's not a... I mean... It's a little flaky, but, like, I didn't ever think about her that way, because that totally describes, like, even in season 1, the way she meddles in everyone else, like, in the time when the beginning of the Myotis arc, when she goes off on her own. Like, she's meddling in everyone else's affairs, but doesn't open up to let other people help her affairs. And that is... I can see how that can be very frustrating when you want to help her, and all she's doing is trying to help other people and, like, letting herself suffer, and...
I don't know, I feel that.
That's actually generally
I also
relatable.
Feel like most people's strengths are also their weaknesses if you don't know how to handle their...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like in a job interview, we're like, well, my greatest weakness is that I try too hard. I do too much. I'm too good of a person. I try to help everyone.
Not like that, but generally...
and so I'm interested to see how that plays out, and that line in particular stood out to me as like seems like something that was like really smartly written and could kind of blow my mind in terms of I didn't expect this movie or these movies in general to dive into this kind of thing and to, be like such a smart investigation of characters that we've seen for a while. And
I guess all the other bits of dialogue that are included are kind of like, it doesn't matter to me that like Piyomon is the one that says like, what's a partner? Like, I feel like that could have been anybody. You kind of just, like, have to address that in a world where you, like, erase their memories.
Yeah, I don't really know how much there is to read into that. I feel like it's just here to send us around, like, yeah, Sora and Piyomon are going to be a thing. Yeah. That's my ship, Sora and Piyomon. No.
No.
I mean, is a Digimon human relationship? So, yeah, I guess...
No, but see, look, Takaru and Sora is like, Sora and Taichi were initially the thing, then she switches to Yamato, but then she would get with Yamato's brother, who she stole from Taichi's sister. Wouldn't that be great? That'd be dope.
Maybe she starts to date Takaru just to like make Yamato jealous. And
Snaps! She starts dating Takaru to make Yamato jealous, but also Takaru's like, I want to make Kari jealous. They really need to date outside their friend group, is basically my conclusion.
I'm not going to make any kind of speculation about the ships and stuff in this movie. It's definitely really intriguing to... Like, this could just be a total, not like a red herring, but like a kind of mistake. Not a mistake, but just like by coincidence, they end up choosing scenes for this movie they didn't realize focus Takaru much more than they expected. And they're like, oh crap, well, he only had a couple lines and we featured most of them.
We made this poster, and then we made a movie, and wait a second. Wait a second.
I assume that the posters were made with the, like, the intent of the movie in mind. You know what I mean? And that the PVs are made from a more of a, like, let's select things that sound and look good and look intriguing from the finished product, or from the mostly finished product. So from that regard, I assume the poster is more in line with what we'll actually see, but who knows? I'm a little worried, like, the stuff we see about Takaru here is, like, he gets a couple more lines, but it's basically, we already seen the lines that he gets or something. But so far...
JK, all the things with Takaru were shown in the PV.
I mean, looking back on how... I should have listened to our old PV episodes, but I feel like very little of what we actually saw happen in the last movie in Chapter 3 was in the PVs. Like, I feel like that was not so much true for the first and second one. I feel like it wasn't too far from what we expected from the PVs, but the third one definitely was.
At the same time, I feel like, from what I remember of the third movie's PVs, it was the most, like, honest. I
really cannot remember the third PV.
And because it focused mostly on, like, Patamon leaving and, like, the infection and...
Right, I think it was actually handled really well, and that it focused on the fact that Patamon would be leaving and there would be, like, some kind of infection. And we were like, okay, we know those things going in. And, like, it kind of reminds me of Your Name, which... Plug, we're going to have an episode coming out next, which is our reaction and review of Your Name and A Silent Voice when we're in Japan, saw this movie in Japanese theaters. But anyway, in Your Name, not spoilers here, But what they do really well, I think, is they expect you to know the premise is body swapping. And if there are big spoilers beyond that, they expect you to really not know. And
so we're going to keep letting you not know them.
Right. But what I mean is that, like, it felt like the third movie, PV, what it did was, like, guys, it's about Padme leaving, it's about Padme leaving, it's about an infection. But, like, actually there's a twist to how that's executed that made a lot of people really resonate with the third movie, which, you know, being about the memory loss and stuff like that.
I suppose I just remember, like, you know, like, second PV is like, oh my god, Ken's there. So it's like, Ken is gonna float all out, like, the two kids are gonna come and stuff, like.
Yeah, that's my main memory of that PV and reaction to it was, like, that, like, Ken's appearance kind of overshadowed everything else. And I think that was even, like, right, it was, like, in the first PV, it was, like, so dark you couldn't really make out Ken, and then, like, they kept showing more and more of him to the point where, like, the TV ad that came out a couple days before the movie itself showed just, like, Ken there holding Meikumon, but it was, like, slowly teased to us more and more, and we're like, he's gonna be so important, and no.
And, like, he doesn't talk at all. He's not even Ken.
And he was an ad for the third movie anyway.
He was an ad for the third movie. This is all so bogus.
So, yeah, please, it would be, I'm trying to remember if there's anything in the third PV that turned out to just be an ad for the fourth movie, and I don't recall anything like that, but I also don't recall much about it. So maybe based on internet reaction to things, they've learned to not do that with these PVs. That would be great, but we'll see.
I don't know.
On that note, we're going to wrap it up now. So you can find the full show notes for this episode with links to the PV and translation at podigious.com/015. At this point, I just wanted to, you know, briefly acknowledge and apologize for our hiatus, unplanned hiatus between episodes. The last episode we released was the Try Chapter 3 guest special episode, which we released about a month ago at this point. And so sorry about that. We had a bunch of episodes that I wanted to keep working on while we were in Japan, and I found it kind of difficult to find time to work on them while we were in Japan. Then we got back from Japan, and then kind of
his life got consumed by Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
Let's not lie.
Yeah, it's pretty shameful, and I really apologize for that. Final Fantasy, on the other hand, is something that, like, I put on a similar level to Digimon to me. Like, this is a main series release. It's something that comes along only every couple. Well, I mean, I do let it come along more frequently than this, but the last one was 13, which came out in college, and I obsessed about it similarly. All that is to say,
I feel like I went to visit him in college because we didn't go to the same college, and he would just play Final Fantasy for hours. I'm like, what's happening? Like, I'm not here for that long.
Anyway, this is all to say that I want to kind of explain that, like, these weeks between episodes, I've kind of been, like, thinking in terms of my editing workload as being the hiatus between seasons, because, like, usually what puts me, like, motivates me to edit and get episodes out is the fact that we're going to record more. And I'm like, okay, we're recording more. But, like, the fact that we finished out Tamers and now we don't have stuff to record, I was like, oh, I'll get the episodes out soon. But it's not super urgent. So anyway, we have 314.5, which is our feedback about the Tamers movies, and our Japan trip highlights, and a reaction review of both Your Name and A Silent Voice, which are two really good anime movies that we saw in Japan. And we recorded this episode in Japan. That should be coming out soon, in the next couple of days at least, at the latest. And then we also have 315, which is our general retrospective of Tamers as a whole, which will be coming out probably next week or so. And we also have our Wada Koji special episode, which has been shamefully long in the making. In some ways, it's completely timeless, but it's also shameful that it's been so long. And to explain, we recorded for a long time. We had a bunch of different editing things that make it really difficult to edit, and it was always like, we've been on Tamers for so long, I want to focus on finishing Tamers and not delay Tamers even more to work on this. But anyway, that's coming out soon. We're going to record our first Frontier episode this weekend, so no promise about how soon the episode will be out, but just know that we're on the way to Frontier, and that'll be starting soon, so be excited for that. So on that note, join us in a couple days for 314.5. Bye. And remember, never stop Digimon.